You are Locked On Celtics Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Boston, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, Jayson Tatum was outstanding. Jayson Tatum in the Windy City messing around and picking up a triple-double against the Chicago Bulls. Tatum and the Celtics rebound after Thursday's tough loss at home against the Bulls, and they pick up a split of the home and home. Jayson Tatum, did I mention, had a huge night in the Windy City. With that, we welcome you into the Locked On Celtics postcast. I'm Steve Lennox, longtime college basketball play-by-play announcer, former national show host on ESPN Radio and satellite radio. At one point in time, the last man on the JV hoop squad for Division III SUNY Brockboard. That for one semester back during my college days. You are right where you need to be. You are locked on with the latest Locked On Celtics postcast, providing reaction to every Celtics game on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, as well as the Locked On Celtics podcast feed, which you know is free and available wherever you get your podcasts. With our latest Locked On Celtics postcast, we're going to discuss Jayson Tatum having a terrific night. Was it a quiet triple-double? Was it a quiet 43-point performance from Jayson Tatum? And did Saturday's victory perhaps frustrate you a little bit with how the Celtics lost Thursday's matchup when they imploded and got the emotions going in that fourth quarter in the loss against Chicago? We do want to hear from you, our everydayers and our first-timers. Join the conversation watching live on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. First off, we say thank you very much. You can hit the comment button and join the Celtics conversation. Give us your one random thought on the Celtics victory in the Windy City. It can be anything. Remember, follow us on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Also follow on the X as well, at Lennox on Hoops, with questions, comments, or concern. This episode of the Locked On Celtics postcast brought to you by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Well, prior to Saturday night, Jayson Tatum had 3 games this season where he was a rebound or an assist shy of a triple-double. Came back in when the game was already decided in the fourth quarter, hit a couple more threes, 9 for the game. First triple-double of the season. Entered Saturday with, I think, 5 straight double-doubles, but 3 times prior to Saturday, an assist or a rebound shy of a triple-double. Third career in the regular season, that from Drew Carter on NBC Sports Boston. But the Celtics Bulls tied at 28 after the first quarter. And the Celtics, you thought maybe it's going to be another night where they struggle from behind the arc. 3 3-pointers in the first quarter, just 3 of 10. But Tatum just showed you what kind of night he was going to have during the course of the game. The Celtics in the second quarter, taking the lead for good. Never trailed at any point in the second half. Led 61-54 at the half. The Celtics 6 of 22. Mention the 6 of 13 in the first quarter, 6 of 22 for the first half from behind the three-point arc. But what they did Saturday night was terrific because they went to the rim. How many missed dunks from the Bulls? Derek White had one in the first half. Bulls had a handful of missed dunks in the first half and a handful of, I counted 4 air balls in the first half as well. But the Celtics got things going in the second quarter and outscored the Bulls 32-23 in the third, up 93-77, plus 16 after 3 quarters. Tatum, a great third quarter all by himself. Remember, he had just 2 points in the fourth quarter in Thursday's loss at home at TD Garden against Chicago. Tatum was 1 assist shy of a triple-double going to the fourth quarter. And in that third, he had 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He was 7 of 8 from the field, and he played the 12 minutes total in the quarter. Got his rest as he normally does at the start of the fourth quarter. But again, he was just 1 assist shy of a triple-double when he took the court for the first time in that fourth quarter. Now in the fourth, Horford a 3, Celtics up 21. And the Bulls, they got to stop at the defensive end in the third quarter, then almost immediately in transition threw the ball away. And it was one of those where it's like, this is Chicago. I think they frustrate you more when they show you the best versions of themselves at their full capacity. And that's the Celtics. Okay, tough loss. And we said it at the end of Thursday's Locked On Celtics postcast. How do the Celtics respond? The Celtics always seem to play. It wasn't a back-to-back night, but it was a back-to-back against the same opponent. But now 6-0 this season after a loss. Yeah, 6 losses after a loss, a win. And Chicago at home, putting forth that kind of effort, sloppy, a lot of one-on-one. Not the entire game, but there were some occasions where they were just one-on-one. If I'm another NBA team, I call the Bulls. Levine, Vucevic, okay. Again, the numbers, the money, all those things, I don't know how they work out. Patrick Williams is now in his 5th year in the NBA, and he's still just 23 years old. Drew Carter and Brian Scalabrine did mention that during the TV broadcast Saturday night. That's the guy I'd like in a winning situation. And the way the Bulls play, I thought when they went to Billy Donovan at one point, I thought, he'd have less gray hair if he were coaching college kids right now. Because a lot of these guys are just one-on-one. Kobe White had 2 personal fouls in the first 2 minutes of the game. There are a couple of occasions where he was just out of control. But in that third quarter, again, Horford had a 3-pointer. I want to go to one other point. And, yeah, here it was. It was in the third quarter. This kind of drove me a little crazy. If you want to join us, I do have a lot of random thoughts here tonight. But if you want to join us, hit the comment button. If you're with us on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, we'll get to your comments here in just a moment. The Celtics bench didn't do a whole heck of a lot offensively. Now, did they do the little things? Yes. I'll bring one of those up right now. Derek White on one possession in the third quarter missed a 3. Peyton Pritchard, offensive rebound. White got the ball back, put up another 3, missed again. Peyton Pritchard, offensive rebound. White missed 3 3-point attempts in one possession in the third quarter. But at that point, the Celtics were really starting to pull away. Tatum had a dunk, 10-point lead over just under 2 to go in that third quarter. Then Tatum had a 3. Celtics up 88-75, largest lead at that point. And they had a 12-2 run as Tatum had an assist on a lob for Horford. And the Celtics were plus 15. And they're up 16 going to the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, again, Tatum back on the floor, 3-pointer to give him 37, hit a couple of more threes, and then had the assist on a Kristaps Porzingis bucket. Porzingis was strong from the field overall with his shooting percentage. And with that assist, Tatum, first triple-double of the season, third NBA regular season triple-double for Jayson Tatum. Now, he knocked down his 9th 3 of the game to make it 117-89. And Drew Carter, Brian Scalabrine were talking about, has any player ever had a triple-double with 10 3-pointers? Guess you could have called it a quadruple-double if he got that 10th, but on his attempt to make it 10 threes for the game, a wedgie. And that was it. Left with about 3:27 to go. And in that fourth quarter, Horford had the 3 to make it 179. That's the first point where I said, okay, that's the first point in the game in the fourth quarter where I said, hold them below 100. And they did. 7-0 now this season when holding an opponent below 100 points. I'll give that number again in numbers of the night coming up in the third segment as well. But just a victory, tied after the first quarter, up 7 at the half, plus 16, and win it 123-98. 25-point victory. Celtics led by as many as 29 in that fourth quarter. And again, I've said this in the past in conversations on radio of, you go to an NBA game. This very well could have been Christmas or Hanukkah presents from a family to kids. And this is the performance that you get from a home team in an NBA game. It's been going on for a long time, but the NBA Cup, again, is to make games more competitive in the regular season. There are just too many non-competitive games, right? You can't, blame the Celtics. They hit a lot of threes and they just keep taking. No, this is on the home team. When you get blown out at home like they did, and the Celtics, again, the energy and the impact that the Celtics have on the back end of a back-to-back or 2 games in 3 days. This is the first time where they've had the home and home where 2 games in 3 days. They had the travel time. They had the off day in between the 2 games. If you're the Bulls, come on. You came in on a 3-game win streak. You challenged. You won. You went toe-to-toe with the Celtics in the fourth quarter. Now, 3 technical fouls allowed the Bulls to extend the lead on Thursday night. But that's the kind of second half you come up with at home when you've won 3 straight games. That's why, some teams are, okay, the window's going to open or something like that. So many times the window never opens for an NBA team because of performances like that, the inconsistency. Big part of what the Celtics are is just come to work, do your job, move on to the next game. The next game for the Celtics, I'm looking forward to Monday night. And during the day Saturday, I kept thinking about Saturday night. What's going to happen? Is this going to be another competitive game? No, it wasn't. Not in the second half. It really wasn't. Once the Celtics took the lead in the second quarter, they never gave it back. Let's hit the comment section. Again, if you're with us on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, we always invite the back and forth. Tad for Music, good to see you. Tatum, great company tonight. KP and Brown, solid. Kind of a hard to remember what anyone else did. Yeah, it is. Solid across the board. Tad for Music, you're right. Because first half, you're kind of wondering, who's taking this game over? And I thought at the half, okay, maybe Zach LaVine has another huge game for the Bulls the way he did last time. Tatum, by the way, in the 3 games against Chicago, 2 double-doubles and a triple-double. LaVine ends up with 14 points. What did he end up with in the second half? 11. Nope, let's look at this. LaVine, second half. 3 points. So he had 11. Yeah, he had 11 at the half and 3 points in the second half. That's a player. I mean, I look at that right now. If I'm a competitive team, if I'm a playoff bound team, and I'm looking at Zach LaVine, that was a showcase game for Zach LaVine. They scored 44 points in the second half. LaVine, I don't know if I'll do it, but next time out, see what LaVine does. I don't even know who the Bulls play next. I'm not looking it up. But LaVine, I mean, he might go for 40 against a team who's got 7 wins on the season, a below 500 team next time. I want, if I'm looking at him, taking his money, trading for him before the February deadline, I want better than that. And he's a terrific player. It's a knock, but I'm not blowing the guy out of the building here. But come on. He played just under 30 minutes, 4 of 11 from the field, and didn't hit a shot inside the 3-point line. See if I have that right overall. I think I do. Yeah, that's the final stats. He was 4 of 11, knocked down 4 threes, 4 of 5 on threes. So 0 for 6 inside the 3-point line. But the Celtics did plenty, and I wanted to look at the Celtics turnover number. Okay, I'll give that numbers of the night coming up a bit later on. But overall, solid win for the Celtics, and a win you just wanted to see. Bulls play at the Bucks on Monday. Tat for Music, you're on it. Appreciate that very much. Thank you. Yeah, let's see if he has a big, that's a team that's obviously, playoff contention, team that's going to, one of maybe 3 or 4 teams that you can pinpoint in the Eastern Conference that can make it to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics. But LaVine, again, I had a great game Thursday. Follow that up. I would have loved to have seen, that's what I was thinking earlier in the day. I would have loved to have seen a competitive game on Saturday night. And the way things went in the fourth quarter, you thought it would be spirited. No. Once the Celtics, it's just a slow game. I mean, even Tatum's triple-double was impressive. Absolutely, taking nothing away with it. But it was a build-up to get there, right? The 43 knocked down the 3 threes and understood where he was in the game. I mean, if he had 6 assists coming out of the, in that fourth quarter, and they said, hey, what do you think? 1 assist shy, get back out on the floor, right? Coming up, NBA thoughts of the night, and we'll get into the bench a little bit as well in the second segment, because it was the stars. It was JT, JB, and KP all doing terrific things, and the bench, again, 24 points. We're going to dig deeper into that when we continue right here. Locked On Celtics Postcast. Hey, glad to have you on board on this Saturday night. Tip of the cap to our everydayers and our first-timers. Locked On Sports Boston, your team every day. This Locked On Celtics Postcast is sponsored by Robinhood. With Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows others to get the rates and perks usually reserved for the high society. Now, the resourceful individual with Robinhood Gold can earn the very liberal rate of 4.25% APY on uninvested cash and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on IRA account contributions. Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of the high net worth for any net worth. These generous benefits all are now available for just $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at robinhoodgold.com/gold. Terms apply. For product-specific disclosures, visit Robinhood.com Gold. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. So again, the Celtics pick up the victory, split the two games, now 2-1 on the season against the Chicago Bulls, and both victories for the Celtics on the road in Chicago. I want to acknowledge our everydayers for making a Locked On Celtics with John Corrales and the Locked On Celtics postcast their first listen every day. Celtics pick up the win by 25 against the Bulls in Chicago. I mentioned Tatum, 2 double-doubles, and now a triple-double on the season against the Chicago Bulls. Impressive numbers. Friends and family for Tatum from St. Louis, west, of course, of Chicago, and making the trip in. There were some pregame pictures and social media hits with Tatum and his fans strong at the United Center. By the way, mentioning that right now here in segment number 2, the City Connect uniforms for the Bulls, boring might be a good word for them. Celebrating the United Center. By the way, I miss Ray Clay because I'll go into it right here. Something that's driving me crazy, NBA League Pass. But the cameras put it on the public address announcer, didn't write his name down. But remember Ray Clay from the Jordan days at the United Center. But the City Connect jerseys for the Bulls, boring. That's the word I would use, 100%. NBA League Pass needs to get its act together for me. I don't know if it's just my TV, but at least once a game, drives me nuts enough that, I'm at a market or whatever and can't get the games when it's on NBA TV. But whatever, it's League Pass or NBC Sports Boston, at one point in the game, almost every game, and this was a long stretch. This was third quarter from a timeout, one timeout to the next timeout. Game action, no sound from Drew Carter and Brian Scalabrine. Drove me nuts again because it keeps happening. It's not every single game, but it's pretty close, and it's close enough where it's driving me nuts when it goes out. And when it goes back on, didn't go back on until the commercial break, but when it goes back on, you almost know that someone said, oops, forgot to pot that up or hit the mute button. Around the league, my 3 random thoughts, and we're going to get into the Celtics bench. Bulls game Saturday night, perfect example, a blowout win by the road team. I found myself wondering this week, especially the percentage of players in the league who are perfectly fine with just collecting a paycheck. Thought that a lot this week as we heard about NBA ratings, TV ratings going down. The Memphis Grizzlies, got to look this up real quick. Bear with me. The Memphis Grizzlies, one of their victories recently against the Celtics in Boston. But the Grizzlies, 128-112 victory against the Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta on Saturday night. So the Memphis Grizzlies continue to win basketball games. They've now won 12 of 14, and that does include a victory in Boston against the Celtics on December 7th at TD Garden. The Grizzlies right now number 2 in the West, and they are a dangerous team. World Basketball Day, that's a thing, and it's worth celebrating as well. Want to get into the Celtics bench because, again, Tatum, somebody was going to need to step up in the second half, and it was Jayson Tatum. Terrific game, terrific third quarter, and a strong fourth as he came back onto the floor, got the triple-double, and went from there. But right now, I'm not pointing the finger. Hey, by the way, Luke Cornett, after barely playing the final seconds of Thursday's game, once the Bulls had the game locked up, Cornett played 19 minutes, 2 of 6 from the field. That's okay. 4 points, but he had 7 rebounds, 3 assists, some hustle plays in there as well. Al Horford did not hit his first field goal until the second half. He ended up going 3 of 7. He had 7 rebounds. So let's see, 14 rebounds from the bench, but 24 points total. Peyton Pritchard, 2 of 6, 4 rebounds. And remember, I mentioned it earlier when White missed 3 3-point attempts in the third quarter on one possession, and Pritchard kept the possession alive with 2 offensive rebounds in between misses. So Pritchard, again, the bench guy's doing the little things, but the points aren't there right now. And Sam Hauser, a little bit of a back issue, missed the game again on Saturday. And with that, Hauser right now, where he's at, and just in terms of dealing with the back issue, you can see that they need him in the lineup. He provides that spark. Remember, it was a few weeks ago, ESPN or ABC, I think it was ESPN, Mike Breen does a wonderful job, one of the all-time best in terms of play-by-play announcers for the NBA. He said, Hauser, they go at him, but he's actually an underrated defender. So you're, a couple of those things where Hauser's out of the lineup changes the rotation a little bit, and dealing with a back issue, never fun on the back issue. So a win in the Windy City, Tatum big night, triple-double, points in the paint. That's going to be part of segment number 3, but a season high in terms of points in the paint. The All-Star voting is going to stay on our lineup for a while because that's a reminder. Yes, you're going to vote for Tatum. Yes, you're going to vote for Brown, but Derek White to the All-Star game might end up as a replacement. I don't care. Derek White to me this year to this point, a couple more weeks before the voting stops, and then there'll be some replacements with injuries or guys just begging off or whatever. But to me, Derek White this year absolutely should be acknowledged as an NBA All-Star. We'll see if it happens, but I'm going to keep All-Star voting up there. I think you can vote 3 times a day. So have at it. Join in as well. Numbers of the night, we look ahead. Once that calendar turns to January, the Celtics are going on a bear of a road trip, really their first of the season and their first of a couple going forward as well. We'll discuss that next. Locked On Celtics postcast. Again, Locked On Sports Boston, your team every day, presented by FanDuel. The NFL playoffs are almost here, but it's not too late to get on the regular season action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets. They've upped that if you win your first $5 bet. FanDuel has so many ways for you to pick up the W. You'll love betting on which players will score a touchdown and how many points each team will score. It's thrilling. Not only can you bet on who is going to win the game, but FanDuel also has bets for which players are going to score a touchdown, how many points each team will score, and so much more. All you have to do is visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your chance to win $250 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, again, if you're with us, especially our first-timers, if you're with us on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, make sure to hit the comment button and join the conversation. If you're a stranger joining us in the conversation, it's easy enough. Put your name in there, throw a thought out there, no problem, and you can stick with us along the way as well. We get into numbers of the night here in just a moment, but the Celtics do pick up the victory on the road in Chicago, split the home and home. The Celtics scoring 62 points in the second half and holding the Bulls to just 43 points. That's a nice number. All adds up for 98 for Chicago. And the Celtics on the three-point line, 15 of 45 as we get into numbers of the night. So 42, 72 misses in 2 games against Chicago from the three-point line. 42, which matched a season and NBA franchise or team franchise record as well. But the Celtics knocking down 15 threes to Chicago's 14. So, again, just twice this season, including Thursday night in the loss at home to Chicago, where the opponent had more threes than the Celtics made in a game. Again, the Celtics did not trail in the second half. There were 8 lead changes and 9 ties in the first half. Once the Celtics took the lead for good in the second quarter, there was no turning back, led by as many as 29 points. The points in the paint, season high for the Celtics in terms of the points in the paint. And that was established early on. 60 points in the paint. Dunks from Tatum and Brown, a couple of highlight reel dunks, a couple of posterized dunks as well for the Jays in the victory. Get to the rim against the Bulls. They don't protect the rim very well. And the Celtics did a nice job. Horford, Porzingis, again, Porzingis is just such a difference maker. And I know I said it when he came back to be, in terms of Porzingis, of just, you're not going to be just reliant on him on the defensive end to be that rim protector. But boy, does he do a good job. And last week, I think it was, he basically was saying, I'm still a week away from being at 100%, not getting winded during the stints on the floor and things like that. But last two games, especially Saturday, he was kind of flying around the floor a little bit, going after blocks that you didn't think he would get to, altering shots, or at least making the player with the ball for the Bulls on Saturday night think that Porzingis is lingering, he's looming, he's in the area, and he sometimes with Porzingis too, when you see him go down, he gets that big 7'3" body up quickly. He's going well. Again, mention it, but number of the night, one of the better ones. 7-0 when holding an opponent. 7 times now this year in the first 28 games where the Celtics have held an opponent below 100 points. And again, pace. It was not a frenetic pace in the second half, but it was a sloppy pace for the Bulls, who like to play up and down. Sometimes you get out of control with that. But you hold the Bulls to below 100 points. 7-0 for the Celtics when holding the opponent under 100 points. Celtics now also 15 times in their first 28, 90 or more through 3 quarters. So those some of the numbers of the night. Again, Tatum, the big one. First triple-double of the season, third of his career in the NBA regular season as well. And the bench, hey, Pritchard's had a couple of down games over the course of the season. They haven't been bunched together. And still you can say through 28 games, Pritchard's down games, few and far between, right? More great than average or below average. So now it's off to Orlando. First matchup of the season between the Magic and Celtics Monday night in Orlando. First of 3 regular season meetings between the two teams. And it'll be a couple of firsts for the Celtics here in the coming games. At Orlando Monday, and then Christmas night, home against the 76ers. Should pick up 2 more victories. And Christmas night against the Sixers, that's going to be the first of 4 in a row for the Celtics before the calendar turns to 2025. And that road trip right at the beginning of January, I'm looking forward to it. And included on that road trip is a matchup, the first of the season, in OKC against the Thunder. That one I'm really looking forward to in early January as well. So the Celtics pick up the win, 123-98, 25-point victory against the Bulls in Chicago. Your favorite podcast is now a newsletter. We introduced the Locked On Celtics Daily Newsletter, one stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free right now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. Start your day with all the new free Locked On Celtics information with the Locked On Celtics newsletter. As always, we do want to tip our cap to our sponsors, Robinhood and FanDuel, and we also thank you as well for joining us on the Locked On Celtics postcast on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel as well. Give us a follow on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, and you can also follow us on X as well at Lennox on Baseball. We will be with you Monday night within minutes of the final buzzer. Hopefully we'll be talking about a Celtics victory in Orlando against the Magic. I don't know about you, but I'm a little bummed that Wagner and Banchero are out of the Orlando Magic lineup right now. But that is not a team you want to sleep on. I haven't seen them a lot, but when I've seen them, I've been impressed, including, I think it was earlier this week against Oklahoma City. Orlando is not a team that you want to sleep on at all. They've got some nice pieces to the puzzle, and they do play hard every single night, just about. Again, there might be a couple of blowouts in there. Don't hold me to that 100%, but they can bring it on any given night. Locked On Sports Boston, number one place to hang out immediately after every game. Celtics win 123-98 in Chicago against the Bulls, and their 22nd win on the season. Locked On Sports, your team, your Celtics every day.